if this is a new addition. I'm not sure.
So next year, it was going to be this year. Next year, all of this concrete needs to come off the front of the house. Now, because of the job we're starting today, I won't say doing today, starting today, we need to know if this concrete render is just a concrete render and there's proper stones behind it, or is it something else. So Dawn's just having a, this is already blown.
That feels like it coming off from about there.
It might do, there's a big crack. And we like to find these things out and share it with you at exactly the same time. We don't really.
No, we don't.
What we're hoping to find
It's stone.
around this window
that might be
is
brick.
brick. That's a brick,
That's
I think, yeah. Traditionally they were stone built and then they'd have bricks around the window.
Yeah, I think that's brick.
So that's a good sign, but we are hoping that we find stone like the rest of the house. The concrete coming off this year was a plan we had last year to do it this year, but
Yeah.
we just run out of time. It's going to be such a big job.
Is it a good idea? Coming up to winter.
Yeah, do
To
it.
be doing this.
Water gets in it anyway.
Oh, I'm scared. Are you not scared?
No, because it's coming off.
Have a go. Because that's cracking all the way across there. Stand
It'll all go.
back.
There we go. Stones.
All that damp.
Yeah.
That's good then.
That is good.
That's good.
Right, so it is good news. This is the brick surround of the window, which we can see on the back of the other kitchen
Yeah.
window, can't we? And then there's the stones.
Is
But-
this lime?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then this is the moisture that the concrete's trapping in, because concrete doesn't breathe,
Oh, you can smell it.
so you get moisture behind the concrete, and that's where you get your damp walls from.
Yeah, I think that's lime.
And that's why you see on these house renovation projects and things, the first thing everybody does is goes in and takes all the concrete off the front of the house. And you can see the damp there, look.
Yeah, and you can also see what it does damage-wise to the bricks.
Yeah,
It takes the front.
yeah,
It just eats the bricks.
yeah, the front of the brick is actually on the concrete, which has just come off.
Yeah.
But that's good news,
Yeah, it is.
and it actually came off quite easily.
Well, in that patch it did.
Yeah, but it was already blown.
But just from a little look, the stones, because I've seen them where people take the the cement off the front, and you see all the stones are starting to break down.
Yeah.
A bit like the brick.
Coming off.
Yeah, it's like it corrodes it.
Yeah.
But they look alright.
Yeah, they do.
I think it's quite hard.
And you may be thinking to yourself, well, you've just taken that off and like Dawn said, winter's coming. But we haven't hit this. There was a gap of
Oh yeah,
probably
there was a big crack
quarter of an
all
inch.
the way
so,
down.
So all the way down there was
It's blown a
exposed.
bit like
Yeah,
up
up,
under
up there.
there.
Yeah, you can see there.
it's all blown there.
There, look. It's effortless to take it off. So it's not like we're introducing any more moisture. In the long run, we'll actually help it because this can now dry out. whereas before it couldn't dry out.
Yeah, that's that brick up there, look.
Yeah, the face has gone on it from the frost, I expect. But that leads us on to what we're doing.
Yeah, this isn't what we're doing.
No.
This was a let's. Ben just introduced a little chink of doubt in our minds that this maybe had concrete block facade.
Yeah, it wasn't.
With cement over the top.
Yeah, it wasn't what it seemed, but it is.
We knew this was cracked anyway, or blown away from that corner. So it seemed the best place to have a bit of a quick
investigate.
Look. Yeah, because what we're actually doing is a front door. Right, back again. Postman turned up. So, and as you can see behind me, it's now decided to rain. What we're actually doing today, if you can tell, I'm stood in the front doorway, is finally getting rid of the hole in the door there. There's a long story behind the front door and why the front door is still like the front door is. Initially we thought we might be able to repair it, and we thought that on and off for months really, but in between I've been looking for second-hand doors, Facebook Marketplace, Done Deal, all the usual places. The trouble we've had is, one, we don't want a modern UPVC composite new door on this house. I feel like it needs the right door, but it's also very, very wide. It's not a standard size, so trying to find one with the right sizes so that we don't have to decrease the size of the door has been a bit of a nightmare. So then we went back to, maybe we'll try and fix it, cut out the bottom bits, splice in some new bits and fix it. And then one of the ladies that used to live here when she was little came along with a photograph from 1971, and it had this beautiful front door. Not this front door, but if you look on, if you've seen the aerial photograph that we've put on one of the videos, Ben will find a link to that video. We always thought maybe it was this door that was on there. It was pink, and if you do have a look at it, you'll see the front door is pink. But once we'd seen this photo from the 70s, we had a quick look at the aerial photo and we can see it was the door from the 70s. So that's set me on a path of, we need that door. And a couple of weeks ago, I found it. And this will give you an idea of why we needed to have a quick look over there, because the door that we've got is slightly wider. We really, really don't want to have to cut it down. But we do think we have a bit of leeway here because of the render, the concrete cement render on the exterior. We're probably looking at it over there, 1.5 inches, would you say? That we can maybe squeeze out to get this door in without cutting it. So that is the job for today.
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow, I was going to say, wish us luck, because it won't be a day job. It will be a few days job.
But it'll be worth it.
But it will be worth it.
Hello.
Hello. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to speak.
Welcome to your house. There are better days that we could have taken the front door off.
dropping at the top on that side more.
Right, so with the door frame out, we can now guess how they did it and when it was done. There's a little bit of newspaper, a little bit like our previous video where we found the newspaper as a packer. There we go, there's another piece. Now there's a tiny bit of newspaper which has 1958 on it, which would sort of reflect the right time for these houses to become fashionable, where you have the front with a concrete render, a smooth concrete render. So we're guessing, and it is a guess, that the render was done, they built a door frame and put it into place, and then they filled all around the door frame with the concrete as needed. There's some woodworm dust in there just by way of a change.
Did you show them the wood grain?
Oh yeah,
on
the actual grain
or the
where they poured. This is how we come to the conclusion they'd put the concrete in afterwards. There's the wood grain from the top of the door frame.
It looks really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look good. So at the moment we have no front door, but look how big that looks. That's huge without the door frame on it.
Have a look from outside.
It does look big.
Yeah, it does.
It looks massive. I don't know what you feel. It's like your bare hand on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Doesn't feel it.
No, I don't think
Just
so.
black.
I think just where over time bits have been eaten away,
Yeah.
we're seeing the dark timber.
And what does it feel body wise? Here you go.
Pretty alright, to be fair. Oh, that looks a great picture on the camera. I'll just have a look. Where it's framed outside.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's probably all in focus and nothing
Yeah,
else.
it looks really nice. Looks great.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. We just won't put a door back.
No,
it looks
just
really
leave it.
nice, yeah.
It's alright in the summer.
So the plan, I can't remember. Did we film? Yeah.
Yeah.
The plan, yeah. If I do it on this side, because this is nicely intact, the plan was draw the line, and you will have seen us drawing the line, and angle grind down there to take off a nice straight area. But then we thought, if we grind too deeply, we could grind into the stones. So Ben's just had a bit of a bash with the crowbar and the hammer, and a big chunk's come off. So we've not got the nice straight edge we were hoping for, but at the end of the day this render's coming off anyway.
And we don't have any damaged stones.
So we're gonna, the royal we are gonna carry on trying to tip away at this and see if it will come off in bigger chunks.
So yet again, the record button didn't record. So the hammer drill you didn't see. But so what we've done, we've taken out this edge, made that tidy. That was where the crowbar took it off, and then tidy up the top. And then got rid of any concrete which was within the stones as well. There's a little bit there. And then this side, same thing. Straight here. Crowbar took that off. And then straight at the bottom. Now it's Saturday. And everywhere that sells the timber we need to make the door frame seems to close at 1 o'clock, and it is now 3:05. So we have a great big gaping hole, a nice front door. So the solution is I'm going to knock up a temporary door frame, so at least we can put a door on, and that will be done for a couple of days until we can get the proper framing timber and get it done. Had a little bit of experience with door frames like the one behind me. Doesn't look great. I'm hoping it's going to look better than that. We have a plan. Close. Now, I don't know. See, I saw my dad do this. Doesn't mean I know how to do it.
I says just to keep it square.
Yeah.
We had lots of
I don't know if you need one or two.
measuring and scratching our heads last night with this, didn't
Lots
we?
and lots. And it's only a temporary door frame.
Yeah, but it still needs to be
A good door
right,
frame.
doesn't it? Yeah.
But what it does do is, because we're going to buy either timber large enough, because this is actually two pieces of timber screwed together. There, look.
Yeah.
It's,
These are our leftover new joists.
Yeah. So cut the rebate in and everything else and working out the width to then be able to buy a decent piece of timber to then be able to recreate this.
Yeah, we
So
thought it's best to have to do it right, because then it's a good practice before you actually do it on
expensive
the
wood.
proper material. Yeah. A moment of truth.
Well, it can't go up and down.
No.
In case we need a bottom on it and a top on it.
Right, while Ben is scratching his head a little bit more. 99. That's the overall width of the gap that we need external. I thought I'd bring it here because, as always, we like to try and figure out how the house was originally, and we have this arch here, and then the whole house is covered in the cement render, concrete render, cement, not sure. Anyway, so when we've chipped off some of this to be able to get the door in, because like we said it's a wider door, we've got patches beneath the cement of lime wash, some colour on the stone. There's lime wash here, which was all beneath the cement render. So our wonder, because it's the same on this side too, in pretty much the same area, we have this reddish paint here. I'm guessing lime wash, and again lime traces of lime wash on all of the stones. Some more of the orangey paint, and we're wondering if it started out with the front door being in line with the front of the house, so that it's in line with the windows. I'm not 100% sure, but once we get all the cement off, hopefully it will make a little bit more sense, because this looks like it's had a form and then done at a different time. There's a strange bulgy bit that runs all the way along there, but anyway, I like a good mystery and trying to piece things together. Ben does not like a good mystery. No. Piecing things together. That's looking good though. Look at that. Looks like a door frame.
It looks the part.
It does.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
So if we end the video here...
If we never ever open the front door, it will still look good.
Yeah, it will. And generally speaking, everybody comes around the back anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's fine. It can be a decorative front door. Yeah. And then also I wanted to show you all these different layers of paint. This is the old door frame, and the years and years from the aerial shot, it had a pink front door, so we know it's been there way back to then. I've got a photograph early 70s where it's been this colour. So this bit of framework's been there a long time, and it's a shame we couldn't use it, but we can't get it wide enough because of how rotten it is on the one end to be able to use this, and it's obviously not tall enough.
So the temporary door frame did what it did. It had the door in place for a couple of nights while we were waiting to find some actual door framing timber. The good news is we saw some quite easily actually. The drawback is it's 5.4 meters long and we needed 5.4 meters to the millimeter. Now the reason we did a temporary frame was because, as you've seen, we had to break out from around the door to give us a wider door opening, because on the new door we just can't afford to cut any of the width down. So the temporary door frame was the bit which told us how much we needed to cut off this new timber, how high the door needs to be. Now I've got the horrible job, and I hate doing them, and it's putting the hinges on. Now I've said in the past my dad was a carpenter and he'd be able to do this in his sleep. I hate doing them. So let's see how that goes. Probably badly. Well, they look the part, if nothing else. It doesn't mean a hinge will fit in them or work as intended. Now we bought, let me stick that down there, we bought a set of chisels. Now these are the cheapest chisels on earth, so much so there isn't even a little sticker with a brand name on it, but just the fact that it's a new chisel makes it nice and sharp and has made it easier to work with. But we will see what it's like when we hang the door. Anything could happen yet.
There, might make it a bit wiggly.
Right. In a tub. There. You know, yeah?
Right, is that
I
all
thought
right?
I might be able to pull it at the same time. So the hinges actually went, or the chiseling out for the hinges actually went really well. I went slowly and then we offered the door up and it looked good, so I've just chucked a single screw in the bottom and in the top at the moment. And I said to Dawn that if this door closes, I will be amazed. Chuffed a bit with that. I'm sure there's a couple of little bits which need addressing, but at the moment it's looking good. All that's, well, that's a funny old angle, isn't it? All that's left now is for the catch for the door. Where are we? This bit. And then we'll have a fully working door. Hello. What a lovely front door.
Isn't it? Look at that. big hole down the bottom.
It looks a lot better than one with a big hole down the bottom.
So I'll bring it this way.
Yeah, go on.
We will be locking ourselves out. I won't shut it.
So as Dawn said earlier in the video, she searched and searched and finally found a door very, very similar to what was here, we believe, originally. The temporary door frame which we made, I'll say the other day, probably minutes ago, was all about how much concrete do we need to chip off to get the width. We just didn't want to buy a piece of expensive timber and mess it up.
Yeah.
Cutting it down and using it as a test. So although it in effect seemed a waste of time, it wasn't a waste of time, because it meant we could then take the good piece of timber, run it down the table saw, it fit.
Yeah, we had all the measurements, and
Yeah.
you probably already said that, haven't you? That we only bought the one
The
piece,
one
and
piece,
it
yeah,
was-
to the millimetre.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most people at this point, let me turn you around and have a look, would be firing in the expanding foam. If you've watched our channel, we won't be putting expanding foam in there. This will be limed, and again this concrete render will be coming off in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe next
Yeah,
year, maybe
we-
later this year, we're not
yeah,
sure.
It was going to be next year,
Yeah.
and then we picked that little bit off, didn't we? And it made you sort of think, maybe we'll
we
do
could
it this
do
year.
So we'll see. But at the end of the day, all of this will be replaced with lime, one way or another. So this is going to be lined into place. It's obviously fixed into the stones.
Mm.
It's not there with a wish and a prayer. The doorbell is original, but I need to do a little bit of geeky jiggery pokery and connect a wireless doorbell to it. On a whole, well, not even on a whole, we are chuffed to bits with it.
Yeah, I was just going to say we're chuffed to bits with it.
Really, really pleased.
It's not, it's pink. This is the colour it was. It's not
Yeah.
normally a colour we'd go for.
No, but it
But-
sort of works.
We quite like it, don't we? And we
If
know
we
it's
come
been
back-
pink in the past.
Yeah, from the paint. That's
Yeah.
the dog.
Oh, shush.
Yeah. We have a few new channel members. Let's come around this way because of
we?
the sun.
I thought we only had the one. Which way? Oh,
That
this way.
No, we've had a few, but the name I remember is Countess Vonnie.
Vonnie,
Is
yeah.
our very latest channel member, so you get a secret wave. And if I have missed anybody else, I'm really sorry, and you can have a secret wave as well.
And you have a look.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching,
Yes.
and we will see you
Next week.
next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.